Hi.
Hello.
Whoop. Hello. Today is Saturday the 30th?
Actually, I think it's.
Technically it's Sunday. It's 12:07 a.m. The 31st of July. July. Look at that magnificent beard.
Yes.
It's fabulous. So how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Drunk?
Yeah.
Tipsy?
A little tipsy.
A little tipsy?
Yeah, me too.
We just murdered a beetle. It was in our territory. We got it good.
It's pretty big.
It was gross. It was like this big. No, it was like that big. So, things are good. We both have today off together. So that's good. It's been kind of slow at my job. It should pick back up next month when school starts back, which is normal for the grocery industry. But I've been working on floral a lot. This next week I don't have any cashiering shifts. So I always it feels weird cashiering now since I don't do it very often. Mm-hmm. Because I don't know any of the sales, I don't know any of the promotions. Because I'm only up there for one day. So, what?
The kitty.
The kitty?
You're staring at us.
What are you doing, kitty? Can I zoom? What are you doing, Hasbrion? He just got brushed. So he probably feels fabulous.
There was an accounting mistake by our apartment complex. So we got a notice on our door telling us basically we didn't pay last month's rent and we had 3 days to pay it or we can get out.
Yeah, so they were like, oh, it's due on the 30th, and then this month's rent is due on the 1st. Yeah. So we had a 2-day window to pay 2 months' rent.
Yeah, so I called them up. I vented to them about how wrong they were.
You are so wrong.
They said they would have corporate call me if I didn't think it was right. I'm like, it's not right. So corporate never called me. Instead, 2 days later, the apartment complex called me back, told them it was an accounting error. I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
I was freaking out. I was like, what the heck? Because I was there when we paid it. I was like, I know we paid it.
Yeah.
Stupid heads. But all that's taken care of. It's all sorted out. So things are good. Rent's paid for another month. We got a roof over our heads. Over your head. Over my head. All over the kitty heads. And apparently beetle heads. Which they are not welcome here. Beetles, stay out. Or you will die. How's work?
Work is interesting. We have, we're having issues with heads staying in the building.
How did the Friday go with the people, the important people?
The CEO of the company that owns us. So it would be my boss's 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 boss.
Dang.
Yeah. We have a CEO that runs us, and then a CEO of the company that owns us decided to come by. I met him. His name is Nigel.
Nigel, is he from London?
He is. He's from London.
How did I know?
And I shook his hand, said nice to meet you, and I walked away.
I got shit to do.
Exactly. Like, I need to keep this place running while you guys are out at lunch.
Yeah. Where'd they go to lunch? Do you know?
They had it catered. They brought it to them.
Oh.
One of my leads is like, "You're not gonna have lunch with them?" I said, "I gotta keep an eye on you guys. I can't be off the floor for that long."
Nope.
So I asked my boss's boss how it went. He said, "Good. They liked what they saw." Awesome. So my boss said we would have a meeting with the leads on Monday morning to talk about how it went. But I hear it's nothing but good things.
Good.
So that's all we need is to keep the boss happy.
The bosses.
I guess he's also the majority shareholder of the stocks. So essentially he owns the company too.
Cool. Good to hear.
Yeah.
I forgot to ask you about that.
So,
Though.
so there was also a confirmed rumor, I heard it by more than one person, that two of the leads that started working there with me, at least two of them, had a plan to get rid of me, and one of them to take my spot.
So stupid.
They didn't know who they were fucking with.
No.
Because one of them was already fired,
Boom.
and the other one, his days are numbered.
Yeah.
Like literally numbered. Like
Literally
numbered. So what these guys have in common too is as soon as my boss got his new boss, they requested a meeting with him to go over their list of complaints about me. There was a third lead that was involved in this too. And I've been telling my boss for weeks, he's not as good as we think he is. By we, I meant him, of course.
But you weren't going to say that.
Yeah. He has a problem following instructions. And I kept trying to tell my boss that he's not as good as we think he is. He's not as good as we think he is. Well, my boss finally got to see it. He sent... We do like parts that go in machinery, like Caterpillar type machinery, and he sent rusted parts through his department, and we're headed to stock.
You didn't tell me that.
I thought I did. Yeah. Well, he tries.
Oh yeah, you did. Sorry.
He tries to talk it up. Like, well, I stopped it when I came in today. And my boss is trying to get to the bottom of it because I don't start till 9, and everyone else, most of the crew starts at 7. I had to start at 9 so I could stay later to hang out with shipping to make sure they get everything out. But all he did was make excuses as to why it happened that way. So my boss finally saw it, and it was obviously hard for him because he's one of the best leads we have. He's so professional.
He had high hopes for him.
Yeah, he saw a lot of potential in this guy that I just wasn't buying. And what else? Oh, so not only that, but I had sent him an email asking him to train somebody on a certain piece of equipment. And I said I want someone else trained by Friday. Well, Friday comes around and this is still the same person running that equipment. And my boss went over there. This is before the rusted parts. Mm-hmm. And he's like, did you see the email? He's like, yeah. He's like, well, why haven't we trained anybody else over here? And he's like, well, because of this and that and that. And he's like, no, that was your direction. Who do you want to train? He's like, well, it's up to me. I wouldn't pick right now. He's like, I know who to pick. This person, that person, or that person. Who do you want? Like forced him to follow my instructions. And when he picked the person to learn the machine, immediately my boss called the person over and is like, your lead needs to talk to you. And then he walked away. Just deal with it. So
deal with it.
So it was that, and then he did all the rusted parts. And then the other supervisor, the production supervisor, found a mistake that was made in that department. And he came and brought it to my boss's attention while I happened to be in his office. And he said, ask him to do a training with his team and fill out a training sheet to show that he did the training. And I was like, and he's like, I kind of want to see how he reacts to you. I'm like, you know what? That's right. I want to see how he reacts to you too. So I don't think he'll do it. So he went over, asked him to do a training sheet, and his response was, "It's not necessary."
That's not a choice.
Right.
It's not an option.
My boss was furious at first. He's like, "Write him up, insubordination, yada," like all this kind of stuff. And of course, by Monday afternoon, it's, "Let me talk to him one-on-one."
Your boss he's so nice.
Well, I do the
like,
same
he's
thing.
so lenient.
I do the same thing. I overreact right away and say all the stuff I'm going to do, how this is not right, yada yada. But then when it comes down to it,
You like get a minute to think about it and cool down.
Yeah. Don't ever make decisions while you're upset about a situation.
Yeah.
So, 3 leads wanted to talk to my boss's boss about complaints about me. And before August is over, 2 of them will be gone. They didn't know who they were fucking with.
Matt motherfucking Armitage.
All you gotta do is the right thing, and these people will show their own faces. Other than that, we have 2 people, or 1 person stopped showing up. Did I tell them the story about the guy that hit his finger and was like all like melodramatic?
I don't
about
think
it?
you did.
So
Do that. I have to pee.
Okay. My hand is in front of the camera.
Huh?
My hand is in front of the camera.
Don't do that.
So, I get a call on the radio from the production supervisor, and he's asking me to come to the restroom as soon as possible. So I leave my office, I head up there, and on my way I see this kid like grabbing his hand doubled over in pain. Like, what the hell's going on? So I go into the bathroom with one of the leads to address this issue with the other supervisor. And this kid's almost passing out, like he's on the floor of the bathroom. And I asked the supervisor, I'm like, "How bad is it?" He says, "It's bad." So the lead is getting, the first aid instructions from the supervisor. And I go to let my boss know that this person is hurt and it's pretty bad. Well, we decide that he has to go to the urgent care right away. So I'm saying a lot. So I say, "You know what, I can take him." So he gets in my car. Like, he had to be helped off the bathroom floor. And I asked the supervisor, I'm like, "How much blood did he lose?" He's like, "Not a lot." So I help him so the lead helped him to the car, grabs my key so he can turn it on to start the air conditioner, because it's been pretty warm. And meanwhile, I'm on my phone trying to find the hospital that the supervisor's directed me towards, because the last time we took a lead to the other urgent care, they used a soldering gun
On his face.
on his face. I don't think I told that story either.
Oh.
That's for another time. Let me know if I told that story or not, and I will. Well, on the way to the hospital, like, looks like he's passing out. And I'm like, "Keep your hand up, stay awake, talk to me." And he's like, "I can't, man, it hurts so bad." Like, he was in a lot of pain. So we get to the hospital, and I go inside to ask the nurse for a wheelchair, because this guy can barely stand. He gets the wheelchair. He has trouble putting his foot on the pedal. The little support things at the bottom.
Got it.
And they're asking him what happened. He says, "I hit my hand." And she's like, "Your head?" "No, my hand." What had happened was he was trying to do something on the drill press and didn't secure the material, and it whipped around and hit him in the hand. And so now here we are at the hospital. So I go inside, I check them in, I give them all the information they need to be able to contact me and and do the drug test and all that kind of stuff. And I go back to work. I say, "Go ahead and call me when he's ready." About an hour and a half, 2 hours later, I get a phone call. He's ready to be picked up. So I go, And he gets in the truck, and I'm like, so is it broken? Based on the way he was reacting to it, he couldn't walk on his own. He was, just in shock pretty much.
Yeah, that's what it was.
And he's like, no. I'm like, what about stitches? Did they put stitches in there? He's like, well, yeah, they put what they call water stitches in there. I'm like, how many of them? And he's like, well, it's not really stitches. It's like a piece of material they put on there that's activated by water. So like they put a Band-Aid on it basically. That's all it was just like a bump on the hand.
Big baby.
And I went back to work. After that, he had told me during the drive there that he was working on something personal, not work related. I told you that, right? Yeah, he was working on something personal.
What an idiot. You work with idiots.
I know. Well, I get back to work and I tell my boss, he already knows because they figured it out, but they went over to where the injury happened and they said 3 drops of blood. So this guy, that's what happens.
Drama queen.
That's what happens when you're raised by a single mom.
Like you?
No, I was raised in the 90s.
Oh.
I was used to scraping knees and breaking fingers. But, and running into walls. But this guy decided he was going to do, 2 no-call no-shows in a row. Which he called the first day, but it was 11 minutes past the cutoff time. So the second day he didn't call us at all. So the way the policy sees it is he voluntarily quit his job by doing 2 no-call no-shows in a row. On top of that, we have 2 people who have attendance issues. One of them we were supposed to let go on Friday, but he's a part-timer, so his schedule's different. And we had the visitors there when we were supposed to let him go, so he didn't get let go. The other one has been there since day one, and I really like the kid, but hands are tied. Our hands are tied. So there's that. It's just been a interesting. Oh, and that guy that called me 19 times. We set up metrics so we can show our pullers where they are and where they're supposed to be, and they know what the goals are. They know what their quota is. They have a certain amount of lines you're supposed to pull and stay under a certain air ratio. Well, this guy's air ratio is out of control. It's
out of control.
It's pretty high. It's probably the highest we have. But he's only been pulling for about a month, so I'll give him a couple more before I talk to him about it. But his lead has tried to talk to him about it. And when he tried to explain it to him at first, he said, well, they watch the hours, they watch the lines you pull, they watch everything. And he just kind of threw his hands up and he was like, they've been out to get me since day one. And he's like, they do this for everybody. I just want to make sure you know how to read these numbers so that you know where you are. He said, I don't care about that. But he has been extremely pleasant to me since that.
Like overly? Like
yeah.
Ass kissing?
Like, it was at one point I would say good morning and he would ignore me. Now he's saying good morning to me. Like, hey, Matt.
Good morning.
Hey, Matt. Hey, Matt.
Hey,
How's
Matt.
it going?
Hey, do you think I could do this?
Yes, exactly. Like, hey, Matt, I just want to let you know that I'm doing this and that. I'm like, all right.
Good for you.
Like, he's trying to keep a low profile since that shit happened. I'm not going to forget about it. 19, that's extreme.
Yeah.
That
When you get the wifey pissed off,
yeah, I kind of think it's dangerous.
it's a no-no.
I'm not done yet.
I was just checking.
So I've been stressed out a little bit. So Sophie decided I could use a couple beers.
I bought him some beer. I bought both of us some beer. when I say I drink beer, it's like bitch beer. It's not actually beer. It's like cider or like I'm drinking these like Limerita things. I don't like beer.
We haven't ordered tickets to come back home yet. We decided to wait to order tickets to fly back in December.
I've been
Why did we decide on December?
Well, first of all, I was talking to one of the women I work with, and she was saying that the time that we were planning on coming out is really busy for floral. So that it might be better to do it a different time. I was like, okay, whatever. Like, it's my family. It's not, like, that's not a huge factor for me. But I've been feeling really kind of down lately about, like, the holidays and not being with my family for the holidays. And we don't get seasons in Florida. It's hot all the time. It feels like, it's not even, we have like maybe 4 days that's cold.
No, that was a couple months. It felt nice. The first time I felt that cold.
It felt nice. It felt like spring.
Oh my goodness, that was amazing.
But it's like, it does not feel like, we don't get seasons here. And it really is like, it bums me out. So I was like, it'd be kind of nice to do some kind of like Christmas thing with the family, like not at Christmas time, because I know that ticket prices would be ridiculously expensive around Christmas time. But maybe
if I get my bonus in November, we could probably afford the Christmas tickets.
But I was thinking like early December.
Yeah, like the first week.
Maybe the first week of December. So I don't know. That would, and then we could do like an early Christmas with the family. That would make me feel better about the holidays, because the holidays are a big thing with my family, like getting together and everything and doing presents and stuff. So.
Oh. My hand's getting tired.
Yeah. It's time for me to talk about my life.
Yeah, how's your life?
My life is good.
That's all.
That is all. Well, I wanted to show, I think I told you guys last time I hung out with my friend Maggie. She gave me a bunch of cross-stitching stuff, so I wanted to show you guys what I got. So she gave me this box, and some of this stuff is mine, and some of it is stuff that she gave me, but like I got a bunch of fabric, a crap ton of hoops. This is one that I just finished. Speaking of Christmas, it's a Christmassy thing. It's like a gingerbread house. And then I did this one. Is a peace sign. And it's like
still in their frames.
floral. Because you can hang them in their frames.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. It's not like I have a lack of frames. And then she gave me like some stuff. Oops, the thing came out. Some patterns and stuff that I guess they were like her aunt's, and her aunt was getting rid of a bunch of stuff, so she decided, Maggie was like, I know someone who would like that. And then I just finished this today, actually. It's an olive label that I'm going to hang in the kitchen. And then the one I'm doing right now, I started today. It's going to be teapots. And she gave me this. Oh, oops, dang it. They all got out of order. Oh well. It's a box with all the cool stuff in it. That's blue, I think. But all the threads, my needles and stuff. And then at the library, I checked out a couple books. What? Why are you laughing at me?
You checked out the library.
I checked out some books at the library. So, and this is what I'm going to make. It's teapots. And I was thinking of, it could be like a table decoration or something. I don't know. I told Matthew that like, we're going to have cross-stitch crap everywhere. pillows.
Some of the other book you checked out.
No. Pillows and towels, and I decided that there's these 2 like sea life things that I'm gonna make for the bathroom. So everything is gonna be cross stitched. It's gonna be awesome. So that's that. That's what I do in my spare time, which I have a lot of lately because it's the slow season, like I said. So, yeah. You guys are probably all going to get cross-stitch stuff for Christmas and your birthdays. And
Monday's the anniversary of the day we left Reno.
If you didn't hear that, Monday is the anniversary, the 1-year anniversary of the day that we left Reno. That's insane.
It's been an interesting year, for sure.
For sure.
I wouldn't trade the experience for anything.
It's been, it's had its good times and bads. Like, when I talk to people and I tell them, like, I'm not from here, I'm from Nevada, and they're like, well, do you like Florida? And I'm like, well, I have my good days and my bad days. Like, sometimes I'm like, yeah, I like Florida, and some days I'm like, fuck Florida.
It has its charm on certain days of the week.
I was talking to one girl at work the other day, I think it was yesterday, and she was like, she didn't know that I didn't grow up here. And she was like, you just seem like someone, like a Floridian. Like, you just seem like you are from here. I was like,
what does that mean?
I don't even know. Like am I crazy?
That's like that kid who you used to work with who's like, I'm such a 90s kid. Who was that?
His name was Josh, and he was definitely not a 90s kid. He was like 18. I'm like, go suck a dick.
Like, what does that mean?
Yeah. No, we were just watching this thing on YouTube, and it was teenagers try to guess the Nickelodeon show based on the theme song, and they got like none. And I was like, this is like my childhood. Like, you guys suck. I hate teenagers. I hated teenagers when I was a teenager.
Yeah, me too.
Even though I was a pretty awful teenager. I'm sorry. Oops.
What side was the camera on?
Dropping things.
Oh,
sorry. I'm sorry for being a terrible teenager.
Are you though?
I am. I was a shithead.
I wasn't.
Of course you weren't. Look at that face.
So what do you guys think of the beard? It's beautiful, right?
You guys should leave us comments on what you think of Matthew's facial hair.
You ever seen somebody out in public and they have this beard and the only thing you could think is...
Magnificent.
That's the goal. I need it to be magnificent.
I work with this girl. She's kind of newer. She's younger. She's probably like 18, 19. She has like really long, awesome, blonde, poofy hair. And she was wearing pigtails one night when we were shopping. And every time we passed her, Matt would be like, she has amazing hair. And so I told her, I was like, my husband thinks you have awesome hair. She's like, thank you. She's so sweet. She had her backpack, like her purse is Harry Potter. My bad. Her purse, it's the Marauders map from Harry Potter.
I have no idea what that means.
That's okay. I know what it means. But the fact that, like, I knew it was her, too. Because I saw it in the break room. I was like, I bet that's her purse. And it was. So, yeah.
Oh, we met that asshole at your work, too. I didn't realize who it was until after we walked away, but Sophie asked, what do you think about my purse, the kitty one? Mm-hmm. And his response was, I bet it smells like cancer. Like, it was completely unprovoked. I didn't realize that was the guy she was talking about.
There's this guy at work. I don't think I've told you guys about this guy. He works in customer service, and he's an ass. He's just a straight up ass. And, like, he's sarcastic, but not in a good way. And I think it's kind of like he's a little bit socially awkward, and so that's what he thinks is acceptable, but it's not. And he always gives me shit about smoking.
I think he's trying to flirt with you.
He has a girlfriend. She works with him in customer service.
I thought he was a girl when I first saw him.
Anyway, that was funny. But he's always like, it's a cancer. It's your cancer sticks. And he gives me shit. And I'm like, dude, I like never talk to you. I don't know you. What makes you think you can talk to me like that? Like, who are you?
After he walked away, I'm like, is that the guy? Because I didn't realize it. She's like, yeah. I'm like, you should have said something before we went up there. I would have had fun with him.
Next time.
Yes.
Now you know who he is.
Definitely next time.
It's like, it's people who are like, oh, smoking's bad for you. It's like, no shit. I know that smoking's bad for me, but it's a habit. I don't know what you want me to say. I'm sorry. Like, it's not something that I can be like, oh, you don't say, and just drop it like that.
I don't give Sophie a hard time about her smoking. I encourage her to quit.
He encourages
that's kind of
me.
my job. That's my job as part of the mission statement of this household, is to encourage her to be a better person and better at what she is.
Yeah. Well, I was taking the Chantix, and I stopped taking it too soon. And I tried getting a refill on it, and I left a message for my doctor, and it's just like, they'd never get back to me. It's just like, stupid. But we have an appointment, I think this month, August.
I still haven't done the blood work yet.
Me neither. That's all right. I don't think it's that important.
She'll just give us another sheet.
Yeah.
Like,
oh,
make
I
sure you
lost
do it.
it.
Like, no problem.
So next time we go in, I'm going to ask for multiple months worth so that I'm prepared, because I want to start a family and I want to be healthy before we decide if we are ready. So.
You just made that extremely awkward.
Sorry. I'm all about that awkward. All about it. Love you.
What else has been happening?
It's been raining every day.
Every day it rains.
Thundering, lightninging.
It rains for at least 5 minutes.
At least. It's like torrential downpour for like 5 minutes.
And then it stops.
Mm-hmm. But
I heard this is the lightning capital of the world.
we looked that up. We researched that, and it's not true.
It's the country.
Yeah.
It's the unofficial lightning capital of the United States.
Yeah. But
Lightning storms are pretty cool, though.
they're pretty cool, but it's scary when they're really close. Because I swear to God, there was a lightning that striked like right in front of our apartment like a couple weeks ago.
Oh, they just built a warehouse. Like by the time we moved here, like 2 months later, they started building this warehouse.
Yeah.
You can see it as you leave our apartment front door.